I'm AC Strange, and this is the Bad Movie Show, episode 42, The Christmas Show 2. Merry Christmas! I love Christmas. I love horror movies, and tonight I'm going to review 3 Christmas horror movies. Last year I reviewed 3 Christmas horror movies that we watch every year. This year I'm reviewing 3 Christmas horror movies that I've not watched until I prepared for this show, which was a couple of weeks ago. Now keep that in mind when I'm reviewing these movies. So let's get started, shall we? First up, I have A Cadaver Christmas, 2012, not rated, natural white film. Written by Daniel Reardon Hale and Hanlon Smith Dorsley. Directed by Joe Zero. Starring Dan Hale, Yash Hayashi, and Hanlon Smith Dorsley. The names. So in this, a skinny, scrawny janitor walks into a bar and he's covered in blood. And the 2 guys, Eddie the bartender and Tom, the drunk, are sitting there wondering why he's so bloody. And they try to hold him there while the local law gets there. And he tells them the story of how he got that way. So he works in the local university and in the science department and was attacked by cadavers. Walking cadavers. The local law gets to the bar, who is Officer Sam Sheriff, and he tells more of his story. They do not believe him, and the officer takes all of them with him and his perp in the car to the university to find out what's going on so he can solve the case. While they're there, they get locked in, and they go to find the professor in the science department, Dr. Hildencrest, but they find his journals instead, which tell of an experiment he did taking the bacteria from zombie snails to reanimate dead brain tissue. It works, which makes cadavers that bleed. Now the janitor and the rest of the survivors have to try to kill as many of these cadavers as they can before the magnetized doors open and lets them out on Christmas Day. So the janitor has a lot of cleaning up to do. Now I'm going to tell you that the first time I saw it, I thought that it was alright. You know, these characters are annoying and they fight with each other. But then I came to realize that annoying people have to survive zombies too. Excuse me, cadavers. I thought it was really interesting. The backstory is cool. I like how there's lots of blood. I also like how they kill the cadavers with lots of Christmas decorations. And it's also heartwarming. The end is the very best, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 and a C. I've seen this 3 times since I saw it the first time, which was a couple of weeks ago, so that should say something. The first time I saw it, was like, it was okay, but then I grew to like it very much, so it earned that 3.5. You gotta get over the fact that these characters are annoying, because, like I said, annoying people need to survive too. But the janitor is like a skinny, scrawny Rambo with a mop, so I dug that. Next up, I have Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale, 2010, rated R, Oscilloscope Laboratories. Now, this is a foreign language film. It's Finnish. They're from Finland. Okay? There are no, it's not dubbed. It's all subtitles. The subtitles are large, though, so that's a plus. And it switches from Finnish to English quite a bit in this. Okay? So, this is written and directed by Jalmari Halander, starring Oni Tamila, Jorma Tamila, Tommy Corpella, and Rauno Jorvonen. We know that I'm terrible with names, and these are Finnish people, so you gotta give me a break. Okay, so this starts on the top of the mountain, on the top of a mountain on the border of Finland, okay, where we have Sub-Zero Inc. and they're drilling a hole in the mountain where this man tells them that they're on top of the world's largest burial mound and they have 24 days to open it. Okay, there's two naughty boys, which one is Pietri and his friends, and they spy on what's going on. And Pietri, it swears that it's Santa in there, the real Santa, and he goes home and reads every book he can on Santa, which are creepy books. 24 days later, which is Christmas Eve, Pietri and his father, who's a reindeer herder, finds their reindeer all slaughtered. Now, they think it's wild wolves, but they also think it's the people on the top of the mountain. So they go up there to talk to them, and they find a gigantic hole. They come down the mountain and find that most of the village children are missing. Christmas morning, they find in their illegal wolf trap a skinny, scrawny, malnutritioned dude that looks like Santa. Okay, and Pietri's dad takes him back and finds that he's alive and like a savage. And Pietri tells him, "Yo, that's Santa." And they find out that Sub-Zero Inc. on top of the mountain wants that Santa back. So they go, "Okay, we're going to give you your Santa back, but we want $85,000. And when they take him back to Sub-Zero Inc., the movie completely changes when they find out that's not Santa at all. This movie is creepy, scary, funny, fun, heartwarming, and wildly original. I've thought about this a lot, and I am going to give it my first out of the box 5. It really does deserve it. Deserves being watched, even if it is a foreign film. It deserves being read. Watch it a couple of times. I'm telling you, in a couple of years, this is going to be on TV like A Christmas Story. This is awesome. And just go out and buy it, okay? It really, I thought about it a lot, and it does deserve the 5. Watch it, dude. It got gingerbread men, elves, ugly Christmas sweaters, lights, reindeer. It's freaking awesome. Now, last but not least, I have Silent Night, Bloody Night in this great multi-pack. Okay, Silent Night, Bloody Night, rated R, 1972. Not to be confused with Silent Night, Deadly Night. Two totally different movies. Directed by Theodore Gershony, starring Mary Warnoff, John Carradine, and Patrick O'Neill. So, we have Diane Adams, the daughter of the mayor of this small town, telling the story about the Butler house, which has dark secrets, okay? Mr. Butler died in the house and left his will where he left his house to his son, which, with one condition, that it's never sold, never lived in, nothing. 20 years later, it's sold, and people start dying in the house. It also, you know, because the house is sold, a crazy person escapes from asylum and goes there. I wonder if they're linked. Jeffrey Butler, the son, goes to the house to find out about what's going on there, and him and Diane Adams try to do their best to piece together what had happened in the house before, which are stories that come from 1935, 1955, all on Christmas Eve, until they find out what really happened there with Mr. Butler and why he turned his house into an asylum and committed his daughter inside, which leads to a massacre. So this is slow but very intense. Really cool that all the horrific things that happen in the house happen on Christmas Eve. So it's like 4 stories in one. I would have to say that if there was a list of movies that should be remade, this one would be a good one. And it should be mainly in the house when it's an asylum, because that would be scary as hell. I'm going to give this a 3 and a see it. It's really intense and dark, meaning it's filmed dark. But I thought it was worth seeing, so put that on your list. Silent Night, Bloody Night, give it a 3. So, that's it for me tonight. I hope you're having a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that good stuff. And do you know of any Christmas horror movies I should see or put on my list for next year's Christmas show? Please let me know. And as always, watch more movies. Merry Christmas. I'm AC Strange, and this is a Bad Movie Show. Have a good night.